These are 10 brutal life lessons I wish I was told at 18, but I had to learn the hard way. And these will work for you at 18 and help you if you're stuck in your life, and they'll work for you at 35 or 50 or 80. Number one, your only true enemy is you. A lot of the world will make you feel like you have got an enemy outside of yourself, something that is holding you back. But the biggest thing you need to be aware of from a young age or at any age is that your biggest enemy will always be you and your mind's ability to crave comfort and not change. The majority of the problems I've created and difficult times I've had in my own life were exactly my own doing because of self-sabotage. And I think it's very important to know from a young age what self-sabotage looks like, why you're doing it, and be able to identify it when it happens. Not to be living in a world where you think, I'm never going to be the one that sabotages myself. That would be a stupid thing to do. You are going to, because your mind deep down is going to want comfort. You're going to want to stay the same. So when you change your life in any way, and it starts to improve and get better, you're going to feel uncomfortable. That new form of life, that new amount of money, that new business, that new girl is going to feel uncomfortable to you, and subconsciously in your mind somewhere, you may start to destroy it whilst you're not even thinking about it because your mind goes, I'm a little uncomfortable with this. That's going to happen, but you need to identify when it happens, correct it and understand it. And the first part is knowing that it's going to happen. If you cannot have deep love in your heart for your own person and who you are, the world will never love you and you will never find love in the world. That's how it works. The world don't love you first. She don't love you first. You have to find you first, and you have to do the best for you first and love you. And once you can do that, that's all you will find everywhere else, which we'll go into heavier in another part of this video. Takes me nicely on to number two. Blame is a fool's game. You can only control things that you're accountable for, which is why you should never blame anything on anyone. Because if you do, you now have given control to another party or another person. This happens all the time. Why? Because it's easier, it's more comfortable to blame someone for your circumstances than take accountability. In order to have the best life possible and really enjoy yourself and feel good and achieve your potential, you have to be accountable to everything. And that's tough. Feels uncomfortable at times because you're like, yeah, it's me. I'm fucking things up through my decisions and choices and who I'm around and all these things. And a common one to identify for most people is they'll do silly blames like, well, I'm fat because my girlfriend's cooking me sweets all the time and she only wants to watch Netflix and hang out. And it's like, you accept those things. No one's forcing the fucking food in your mouth. And if she's pinning you down and she's a proper feeder and she's pinning you to the floor and she's saying, eat this, my little sweetie, eat this. You need to leave. That's not allowed. That's against the law. But for most people, they choose to blame instead of take themselves accountable. If you're getting fat because you spend too much time relaxing with your girlfriend, you haven't got the business because you're too comfortable and your girlfriend distracts you and wants to go out all the time, none of that's her fault. That's you not being a man. That's hard to stomach for a lot of people. If you look inside, that's a hard feeling to deal with, but it is the truth. Someone that's in control of their life goes, no, I'm not doing those things. If she gets angry and she doesn't want to hang around anymore, they let the girl go. That's the brutal reality and truth of being a man that gets what he wants. Is that you have high standards for yourself and you're in control. And if something bad happens, you take accountability, even if it wasn't immediately your fault. You end up getting locked up because one of your buddies does something stupid and you're with him. And you might blame for your whole life, say, I'm locked up because that person fucking did a stupid thing and I was around him. No, it was your fault. And you have to accept it as your fault because you decided to be around that person. You take accountability. That's being a man. Number three, minimum viable life standard. Anything other than a life standard, something that is written in stone and followed, will get lost in the abyss of life. You have to have a fucking standard for yourself that is written down and followed. You will fall to the level of your minimum viable standard. Make sure that this minimum viable standard creates an impeccable person, because not every day is going to be your best. You're not going to be on your best form every day. You're not going to do the absolute maximum every day. But you have to make sure on the days that you don't, on the days you don't feel like it, on the days that you feel depressed, on the days that something bad happened, on the day you're grieving, that you have a minimum viable product that still gets you to the life that you want. That no matter how bad things are, you hit the gym 4 times a week. No matter how bad things are. No matter whether you're injured, whether you're sick, whether you're tired, whether you're lonely. If you're doing content, no matter how bad you feel, you get your minimum amount of videos out a week. If you can do that, set a minimum viable standard. It is the only way for your life to become impeccable. The minimum viable standard is what still slowly inches me towards my goal whilst not being overwhelming, but still leads to improvement. We're either growing or dying. What's the minimum level of improvement that's still compounded over time will get me where I want to go in life? You need to set that standard for your life, and you need to follow it so strictly. And you cannot break that standard, because your life will fall to the level of your standards, not to your dreams. It won't grow to your dreams. It will fall to your actual standards and what you do. Number 4, exposure holds the key. This is so under-talked about. You can change your life and who you are as a person and what you achieve simply by being around somebody that already has it, simply by being exposed to a level higher than yourself. The largest leaps and bounds I've taken in my life have come from exposure. If all you ever know is one way of life, the 9-to-5 life, that's what you've grown up with, that's what all your friends do, and varying degrees of success in your mini ecosystem are, well, he's got a good job, so he's high status. If that's all you ever see, that's all you're ever going to know, that's all you're ever going to go towards. If you then, for whatever reason, let's say you won a holiday with a billionaire, and you spent a week with a billionaire because you won a competition, you will not be the same after that week. If you also have these 3, accountability, you don't blame things, you know that you self-sabotage. If you're around that person, he or she, the billionaire, will break your brain. Your brain will be broken and never put back together because you have seen and experienced something firsthand that changes the way you see the world. Most people see this. Most people are around it and they choose to hate it. Why? Because they hate themselves and their only true enemy is themselves. They choose to, instead of embrace somebody who's successful and know that there's something they know that they don't, they choose to become jealous, envious. This is a brutal truth. If you ever look at a car or a nice house or a beautiful woman or somebody that has more than you and you feel envy, jealousy, and you want to tear it down, you will never get that thing because you cannot have something that you hate. You can only have the things that your mind thinks are good for you. So you have to see it in that way, and you have to find a way to get around the right people and have the confidence to speak to them. You have to put yourself in situations where you can meet the highest level person and learn from them as a young guy. That will just massively increase your standards. I'll give you an example. I just spent 6 weeks in America. 2 guys from the New Elite, my private network. I have a business. The New Elite is a network of entrepreneurs. We built it for this exact reason, to get around the right people. We're running a Marbella mastermind for a load of high-level guys in the end of August. DM me Marbs on Instagram if you're interested. Life-changing events. But 2 of the members of my network I met last year, multi-millionaires, young guys, 2 brothers, and went to stay with them 6 weeks again this year. They do about $500,000 a month, sometimes a little more. Within 6 weeks of having spent 6 weeks living in their house, I'd done my biggest ever month in business, purely by being around them. That's how big the change is. Just by being in their house. I rose to the standard, did about $250,000 in a month. I mean, that's one of the greatest keys to changing your life. You have to be around it. Brings me on to number 5. Where you live is who you become. I would recommend when you're young, spend some time traveling, see which area fills you with energy. See what place you visit on holiday that goes, fucking hell, life doesn't even feel difficult here. I feel amazing. I'm doing more, I'm making more content, I'm doing more things. That's why I moved to Thailand rather than the UK to start a content business. Because when I was there, it didn't feel like work. And it's why I moved from Thailand after being there for 2 years to Dubai. Because I wanted to be around a higher character, a higher status person. I could have very comfortably, remember comfort, I could have very comfortably stayed in Thailand and lived an experience of life that was better than most, with a lot of money comparatively. It wasn't that I wanted more money that I moved to Dubai. It's I wanted to see the highest standard because I get bored easily. And where you choose to live is who you become. That's a very, very important life decision that you make. Do not just take it as gospel that the place you live is the best place in the world. Go and see some places and see where you're fucking meant to be, because it will easily boost your life experience without you having to do anything. It makes life easier rather than harder. Number 6, you will only ever see what you are. When you walk into a room and you're angry, you have aggression, hate in your heart, that's what's reflected back into the room, not because it's abundance mentality bullshit and ethereal nonsense. It's data. When you walk into a room and you're pissed off and your face is angry and you talk with an angry tone of voice, it affects your facial expression, your timing, the way you speak. That's exactly what impacts the reaction of the world back to you. So if your life experience, and this is something I look for in people I meet, very important lesson to learn. If somebody tells you that their life is riddled with problems, that they've got problems in their life and other people are fucking them over, over and over again, that is a problem with them. That is their experience of the world, because that's what they are putting out. Very easy to identify when you decide who you want to be around. Do not be around people whose life is full of problems. Everybody's life is full of problems. That's what life is solving problems. It's not a fucking big deal. If someone's life is full of problems and other people fuck them over, they're a fucking fool because they're blaming other people. You don't spend time with them. They will infect you with that mindset. You will only see what you are in this world. Who you are in your heart, what you bring out of yourself is what is reflected back to you. It's why it's very important to be positive, to see the best, to be grateful. Because when you walk into a room that way, you get every opportunity that could have come your way. And if you go in there miserable, like face like a slapped ass, that's exactly what the world will give you. Number 7, you will always have vices. Choose a good one, or choose good ones. I've spent a lot of my 20s trying to overcome vices, and I don't have I'll be totally honest, I don't have my complete control over my addictions and my addictive personality. And I've chose to stop fighting it in a way. I don't drink alcohol or take any drugs anymore. I have been sober for 7 months. That's been a big impact on my life. But to say I don't have vices still, it would be untrue. You can choose good vices. You can choose things that you become addicted to that are positive for your life if you have an addictive personality. Rather than try to remove all vices from my life, I choose good ones. I'd rather overwork, overtrain, drink a bit too much caffeine than overdrink, overdrug, overfuck, overparty. Is it completely healthy what I do? I stay up too late working sometimes, or I spend too long in the gym, or I drink far too much caffeine to get work done, or I'm hyperstimulated all the time. No, it's probably not the best, but it is a hell of a lot better than my other vices. So I'd rather have them. Because of my manic personality and my addictiveness, I love to go out and party still, but I do it without alcohol. Is staying out and fucking up my sleep at 3 a.m, dancing in a club and listening to DJs with girls, is that a overall absolute positive? No. But is it a lot better than going out and getting fucked up? Yes. So I keep vices. And this is why I DJ now. Is DJing a distraction from me doing my best work and everything in my business? Probably. Is it something I'm passionate about and I enjoy learning? Yes. So I take the trade-off, and it's positive. So don't believe you're going to remove all vices. Try and make your addictions and your vices work for you if you have an addictive personality. That's what will make you great. Number 8, life is exponentially easier with 8 hours sleep and a great body. And you control that. That's one of the greatest pieces of advice my mother ever gave me. Was, Jack, get 8 hours sleep, mate. Wake up tomorrow morning. It's not going to be a problem anymore. Stop fucking going through things when you have 3 hours sleep and you're depressed and you think your life's shit. Fix the absolute base level, which is your health, your biochemistry, your experience with the world. You do that, everything becomes easy. 8 hours sleep, easy to stick to your goals. Enjoyable in the gym, easy to stick to your eating. 4 hours sleep, very difficult to do all of those things. Very, very simple, often forgotten. Your 8 hours sleep one night is much better than staying up that night and trying to solve your problems. Get 8, 9, 10 hours sleep, solve your problems the next day. Often overlooked. But I would say for a lot of people, myself included, it's the only reason I put this in, myself included, if life feels tough, just have a look at the base level inputs. How much sleep you're getting, how much are you training, what are you eating, drinking. You fix those, the mind stuff, the complicated shit becomes way easier. Number 9, unfortunately, help only comes when you help yourself. This is so blatantly obvious to me because I get messages every day of people begging for help. Saying, Jack, help me, send me money, do this, do that. I'm so stuck in my life. Nobody wants to help that person. And that's just the brutal reality of the world. Is help only comes when you've already done something for yourself. You fix everything you can fix and you put it out to the world. People will say, oh man, that's awesome what you've done. Let me see where I can help you with that. If you want help to come first, doesn't work. Never comes. When you don't need things, then you get them, essentially. It's like celebrities. When they get super rich and famous, suddenly everything's free, although they have money to pay for it. And they really needed everything to be free when they weren't rich and famous. Funny how that happens. It comes back to accountability. Don't expect someone else to save you. You're more than capable of saving yourself. Go and do the fucking work. Doesn't mean that you can't accept help. Doesn't mean you can't ask for help. Just clear nuances in this. But only ask for help and only do those things when you're doing absolutely everything you can for yourself. Otherwise, why are you worth someone else's time? Have a little think of that in your own mind. Why should they fucking help you? If you can't even help yourself, your fucking life, and you can't even get out of bed and help yourself, why should somebody else give you their time? Think about that. It's brutal. You don't want to be told that. You want to be told, oh, you always have someone's shoulder to cry on. There's always going to be somewhere to pick you up. Fuck that. That's why the world's messed up, because men don't take accountability and they blame others and then expect help. It's not what you need. You're far more capable than you think. But I'm sure a lot of you guys ain't doing this anyway, right? You guys are cool. Number 10, play the long game with your expectations. Play the short game with your actions. You can become anything you want, and you can really have anything you want in this world. Not everything. You can't have everything. There's too much out there. But you can have anything. The thing you really want, you can. But you've got to expand your time frame. You really do. You're not going to get it in a week. You're not going to get it in 2 weeks. So find something you enjoy doing and consistently do it for a very long time. And enjoy the work on a daily basis to become that person. So people will ask me, Jack, how do you get a six-pack? 14 years of just making fitness my life and knowing that I'm never, ever going to stop. Like the six-pack's never been the goal. It's just a byproduct of me enjoying fitness on a daily basis. That's all it is. Same with work. Same with anything you want to become. Enjoy the daily process. Act ferociously on the daily process, and eventually you'll get anything you want. You really will. But if your expectation is, I need to be this thing in 1 month's time, otherwise I'm a piece of shit, or you get the six-pack and then you stop going to the gym, the six-pack goes. It's not about that. It's about the lifestyle. It's about who you become on the journey. Play the long game with your expectations and just outlast everyone else. And it's so easy these days. Like literally, if you can just do the opposite of what everyone does, which is comfort, weekends, drinking, never pushing themselves, and actually devote yourself to something, it's so easy to win on a long enough time frame. Even a year of consistency. Most people can never do a month of consistency. If you can do a year, you're way ahead. There's no chance you don't join the top 1% in whatever you decide to do if you just do it for a few years every day. Because nobody wants to play the long game. They want everything now and easy. And the whole world's designed to feel that way with the short form social media, the ease of things, the comfort in life, all of that stuff. Like there's never been an easier time, more tools available, never been an easier time to win because of how weak everyone's mind is. So there you go. 10 brutal life lessons I wish I was told at 18 that I've half learned at 27, but I still struggle with. So remain vigilant and I'll see you on the next one. Whoop-ow!